So let me go ahead and do this. Okay. Yes. All right. And let's do this. I always like to start, well, I like to start by making my lawyers happy. So we're going to start with a legal disclaimer. And then we're going to kind of move right into kind of one of the first systems I ever used to start making money within MetaStock, and that's the RMO. So, but first things first, today's demonstration is designed to instruct you on using MetaStock and the accompanying software plugins. It's not a recommendation to buy or sell, but rather guidelines to interpreting and using specific indicators and features within the software. The information, software, and techniques presented today should only be used by investors who are aware of the risk inherent in trading. MetaStock shall have no liability for any investment decisions based on the use of the software, any trading strategies, or any information in connection or provided in connection with the company. So hope you understand that trading is risky. I don't have to read the rest of this. I will put it up there for a second, and we'll go ahead and start to kind of just talk real quickly. If you guys have symbols you guys want me to look at today, give them to me. I'm going to basically, I don't like to look at like pre-canned or pre-caked signals. I like to look at stocks that you guys are interested in and things that you want to see. To kind of give you a little bit of an introduction to me, I started working at MetaStock 24 years ago, and it's been a great place to work. Basically, I started in inside sales and spent about 10 years just basically talking to customers and clients and prospective customers about really like what they were trading, how they wanted to improve, and all of that kind of good stuff. And after that, for about 10 more years, I worked in our business development. That's been great. Basically had the opportunity to trade all over the place, really meet and work with people like Fausto and some of the best industry experts. And then like the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, I've been in charge of basically the inside sales team and the business development teams and all the sales teams here at MetaStock. So I've had a lot of experience with MetaStock. There's a few things that I'll say about, oh good, I'm getting signals. That's always better. Thank you. Oh, AMC. I've actually got a little bit of a position in AMC right now. Not a huge one, but a little one. Where was I? Oh yeah, okay. So a little bit about MetaStock. Like I said, I started 1997. We were basically bought by Reuters in 1995. So by the time I started at MetaStock, it had been owned by Reuters for 2 years. It was a really good relationship that we had with Reuters. We still have a really good relationship with Reuters. They were bought by Refinitiv. Now it's part of, I guess, the London Stock Exchange. But we've always worked with the same people there. What happened was just a couple of years ago, we bought ourselves back. 2013, I guess it's been a few more than a couple, but in 2013, we bought ourselves back from Reuters. It's an independently owned company, but we still have a really good relationship with Refinitiv. And that's been good because, you know, we can basically cover data. Reuters, Thomson Reuters, now Refinitiv, is one of the best providers of news and information on the planet. The numbers are pretty incredible. They have like something like 200, 300 different news bureaus with 3,000 full-time reporters that just kind of basically report on different things in the market. They basically do about, well, the last time I looked at the financials, which was years ago, they were doing about 19 billion in sales. They sell information to hedge funds, and we were able to, with our partnership with them, make their news available and all of their data available. And that's why we've been able to basically attract customers from everywhere. You know, if you're listening to me in India and you want to follow the National Stock Exchange, you could use it, what we're basically going to talk about today, with National Stock Exchange, London or Australia, or basically any of 200 different exchanges globally. So it's been the one thing I will say about MetaStock and the company, it's been a great place to work. Initially, when I started, I thought I'd work there for a couple of years, and it's really just a bunch of friends that we work with every day. I love it. I'm very proud of the fact that a lot of times we'll go out and we'll survey our customers after they've contacted support or by sales team, and we'll get really, really good reviews. In fact, it's not uncommon to have a whole week where every feedback we've got from support is at 100%. So I think we do a really good job with our taking care of people, helping them out, answering questions that they have. And that's always nice. We keep more people on our support desk than we keep in sales and sales and marketing combined. We basically, I think we do a really good job of supporting that customer base. The other thing that I'm proud of before we kind of get into like the symbols that you guys are typing in is the fact that for the last 27 years in a row, we've been rated #1 by the readers of Stocks and Commodities magazine. So we're very, very proud of that. It's 27 years in a row that readers of Stocks and Commodities have rated MetaStock #1 over and over and over again. I have a sales rep right now that's 28 years old. And so we joke that if he was just a little bit younger, we'd have more awards, more annual awards than he's old. So, but in any case, that's enough about the MetaStock. Let's kind of get into kind of like what the topic is and kind of, again, one of the things I like to show in MetaStock. So there you go. Thank you for bearing with me. When we're talking about MetaStock, you're talking about a huge tool. Today, though, I'm going to get really, really specific about one of the built-in tools to MetaStock, one of the built-in trading methodologies in MetaStock. And so what we're going to do is basically talk about the RMO system. And I think I'm not going to be talking about a lot of the power tools, the patented forecaster that we have, the scanning. We have a really, really good, we might talk a little bit about the scanner. The system tester is really good, but we're probably not going to spend any time in it. We're just really going to kind of focus in on just this one little part of MetaStock to kind of give you an idea. My goal today, at the very end of the session that we're going to spend 40 minutes on, is I'm going to give you an extended trial offer for MetaStock. And my goal is to get you interested enough in MetaStock that you kind of say, okay, well, this looks pretty good. I'm willing to try this out for 3 months. And if you are, we're going to basically throw a bunch of training at you. We're going to help you get installed. But my goal here is to kind of give you enough information that you're interested. So today we're going to talk about the Rahul Mohinder oscillator. And the Rahul Mohinder oscillator is a technical trading system. It's also a trend following system. And so you probably heard like the trend is your friend, or trend the trend, or rising tide lifts all boats, stuff like that. This is something that's designed to identify the trends. Now, the Rahul Mohinder oscillator, or the RMO system, is a system that was developed by a friend of mine in India. His actually a friend is kind of maybe not the proper term, maybe a mentor would be a better term, but it's actually a person by the name of Rahul Mohinder. And Rahul Mohinder has a special relationship with MetaStock. He's been a partner with MetaStock for about 27 years, just a little bit longer than I've been employed with MetaStock. But he basically, what he does is he teaches people how to trade in India. He's a seasoned trader. He's been doing it for a number of years. He also does a lot of CNBC and CNN India. But as a whole, he has about 5 or 6 different offices in India where he brings people in. He teaches them how to trade Indian stocks. And he is the creator of this system. The reason it's in MetaStock was about 10 years ago. Oh, wow. Not even 10 years ago. About 15, maybe 18 years ago, around the time of MetaStock 10, he came in and we were interested in kind of like what he was doing. At this point, he had kind of just, his sales were exploding in India. They were doubling year after year after year. And we were very, very curious as to kind of like what he was teaching people how to do, how he was using the software. And he had come in to Salt Lake City, Utah from India. We were basically kind of sat down with him in a conference room. We asked him to show him what we were doing. And the system that I'm going to show you today is the one that he showed us, exactly the same 15, 18 years ago. And we ended up buying the rights to sell it and putting it in every version of MetaStock after that. So that's a little bit of the story behind the Rahul Mohinder oscillator and who Rahul is. It is the first system I've ever started trading with. It's not the only one that I use, and it's certainly not the one I would say is the one I use most frequently anymore. But it is a very, very good system, and I've shown it all over the place. I've shown it almost in every country on earth, to like from Saudi Arabia to Dubai to London to Indian Stock Exchange to Australia, all the places that I've been. I usually, what I'll do is exactly the same thing that I'm going to do today is, hey, give me a few stocks. Let's take a look at this. But here is kind of the reason I like to show it. It's incredibly easy. I'm going to show you 3 steps. Basically, that's all you need to know. And as long as I do my job properly, you'll understand kind of why you're getting signals and how to trade them. The other thing I like is it's objective. At no point today am I going to be talking about, what the virus is doing, or, what the latest dollar printing at the Fed is going to cause, or, anything subjective we're just not going to look at. What we're going to be looking at is objective ways to look at the trend. I also like it because I think in order to trade successfully, you need to employ solid money management. So I'm going to talk to you a lot about how Rahul puts in his trades and how he puts in his stop losses and, his when he decides to get in. But I also like the fact that it works on a lot of different instruments. I've shown this everywhere. It works in a lot of different markets. It was designed to work in India, but it works all over the place. And again, it's a very, very cool little system that is a part of MetaStock. Lynette, thank you for the question already. Do you provide all your ECN books with your trading software? So that's going to be part of our Zenith. Oh, huh. Well, there you go. Let's go ahead and get back into the PowerPoint here. So the ECN stuff will be part of the Icon product or the Zenith product. I'm not going to be showing much of it today just because it's not part of what we're talking about. But I will say a few things about it since we're kind of talking a little bit about it. It is the Zenith product is a product that they put over $1 billion into designing. It's the same services that they sell at much more than what we charge to institutionals, hedge funds, mutual funds, you name it, to get their information. And what I would recommend that you do, Lynette, I'd be happy to send you some information about what Zenith is and what's included with it. Drop me an email, jeffrey.gibby@metastock.com. And there's a lot of ECN type stuff included with that, but it's a little bit, it's actually a lot divergent from what we were going to talk about today. Okay, thank you for the question. My email, I'll just type it in right here. You're welcome to give me a email. I'd be happy to send you more information on both MetaStock, Zenith, tell you what the weather looks like, whatever you want. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this. We got here. Okay. Now we're going to be here, and then we're going to jump into some charts, and we'll have some fun in some charts for a little bit of time. So the first thing that we want to do is with the RMO system, again, it's objective. So if we're following it, we should be able to be objective. And what we're going to be doing, the first thing that we want to do, since we're following the trend with this system, is we want to be able to easily identify it. And we're basically, when we talk about RMO, we're going to be talking about 3 different types of trend. We're going to be talking about a primary trend, which is like a long-term trend, a medium-term trend, and a short-term trend. Okay. And so when I say primary, I mean long-term. If I say prevailing, I mean long-term. The first thing that we're going to do is identify the primary or prevailing trend. So let's go ahead and kind of open this up. I'm going to go, oh yeah, I do have to kind of change this around a little bit differently with Zoom. Let me stop sharing here. And what I'm going to do is instead start sharing MetaStock. Okay. See, and now, if you would, just let me know that you can see MetaStock. And I'm going to see if I can find that little Zoom window I had open. Okay, yeah, here it is. Let me open up that. Where'd the chat go? There we go. Where is it? H. Okay, where is it? Okay, there it is. Okay, can you guys all see a chart? This is plug. I was looking at it today. And I think you're saying yes, but it took me a minute to find chat. I don't use a lot of Zoom, but I've used enough of it that I know kind of how to get in trouble. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and just close everything out. I've got a whole bunch of charts open, and you don't really need to see those. What we'll do is we'll look at some of these symbols that you were giving a little bit earlier. I appreciate those symbols. If you have some you'd like to look at, go ahead and let me know. I do think we're going to have more than we really have time for. So, and that's fine. The first one was AMC. PIRS. That's an interesting one. PIRS. .O. AMD. Okay. SPCE. I'm just going to do a little bit of an instrument search here to find that one. I think it's SPCE.O for the Reuters symbols. Symbol starts with SPC.K. That's why I wanted to look it up. And then you'll notice that there are quite a few different symbols in here just because there are so many different currencies or different exchanges that are covered. That's why .K or .O is always going to be the US one. So we'll go ahead and add that one to there. PIRS, we did get INMD. I do want to say you guys have different symbols than I normally look at, which is okay by me. Emoti. It's not too, this happened on Friday. I was looking at some stocks. I ended up buying a couple of them today because people were interested in them and I was looking at them. It's a pretty good looking stock. So in any case. Okay, so we got AMC, PIRS, AMD, Space, and INMDO. Okay, let's go. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to apply a template. This is what we call our Power Console in MetaStock. And right here, I've just got it open for charts. So we're going to look at charts. Just to kind of give you an idea of what the other tools in MetaStock are. This is basically a quote screen. Right here is a really good scanner we have. We call it the Explorer. It's really good for going through and finding opportunities. You can scan any markets you're interested in. We do have one of the best system testers. You know, I might be a little bit biased, but I think it's one of the best system testers I've ever seen. This is our patented forecaster and just a bit of an options module. We're just going to primarily deal with chart and maybe, I doubt it, scanning, but I just don't think we'll have time. But right now, for the most part, we'll deal with charts. What we're showing you today, you can scan for too with MetaStock. I just don't think with there being like 45 minutes and a bunch of charts, we're going to have time to kind of look at it. So what I'm going to do here is you'll notice we have all of these lists that you can look at if you want to browse the list. I can also just type instruments up here. So we're just going to go with the instruments I typed up here. I'm going to leave everything on the default. We'll look at primarily daily bars. And right here where it says default, I'm going to open up all of these charts with what we call the RMO trade model, which is just all of Rahul's indicators. Okay, let's go ahead and open them up. Boom. Hopefully I got most of the symbols right. AMD, how did I get AMD wrong? Let me go ahead and real quick. I'm going to go ahead and tile these. Oh, okay. It looks like, okay. That's basically fine. Here's the AMC chart. Right here, we've got Pierce. Holy crap, that had a bit of a gap today. In mode, limited, Virgin Galactic Space. All right, so let's go ahead and just open up this one for now. And what I would like to do is actually just talk to you a little bit about how we identify the trends on this thing. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to look at is basically this is the RMO chart. The first thing that we're going to want to be able to do to follow the trend is identify it. And so the way that Rahul identifies the long-term trend or the primary trend is with this RMO oscillator right here. So I'm going to go ahead and basically make it full screen. You'll be able to kind of see it. This is the way that you read this indicator is very, very simple though. I'm going to put a little 0 right here. I'm going to basically say that if it's above 0 on a long-term basis, what are we looking at? This particular stock is, it covers up right here what symbol I'm looking at. In mode, it's right under the you are sharing your screen option that with in mode, as long as this is up above 0, in mode is it long-term bullish. Okay, if it's down below 0, it's long-term bearish. Okay, so for all of the visible data that we're looking at right now, with the exception of a few couple spots right here, we have been in a long-term bullish trend. Okay, it's that simple. Basically, that's what we're looking at. If it's in a bullish trend long term, it doesn't mean we're going to buy it. Okay, just because it went from short term to long term right here, it doesn't mean what we're gonna buy that stock. All it means is that we're not going to go short. So if we look at it, it's kind of the first step in a rule set. If this is above zero, we're allowed to buy the stock. We're allowed to go long. We're allowed to buy, let's say, calls on the stock. We're allowed to be bullish on the stock. We are not allowed to be bearish on the stock. That's it. So there you go. The other way that we identify this on the chart is you'll see every time that this is above zero, there's a ribbon on the chart here that says its RMO is in a bullish state. Okay, I could probably go back a little bit with the Reuters data. I can go back to the 1980s, but you can see for the most part, InMode has been in a pretty good bullish trend. If we look at kind of just where it's been in the bullish trend recently, it was long-term bullish. It went bullish long-term last time at about 902. So this was 2020. This is back in September 20th. And it went long-term bullish. During that time period, it went from 31 to about 81. During that whole period, you're only allowed to go long based on the RMO system. Okay, so that's the first rule. That's it. Again, we didn't go long there based on just that rule. There's a couple of other rules that we'd want to follow in place with that. So just to recap, I actually usually go back to the slides. The first thing that we're looking at is, are we above zero? It doesn't matter how far we are above zero. Size and shape don't matter. If it's above zero, then we're bullish, which means we're allowed to buy, which means we're not allowed to short. Okay. The second thing that we want to look at is these two indicators right here. This is called swing trade number 2 and swing trade number 3. Okay, and that with the RMO, those are the only indicators that I actually use. Okay, I do prefer a little bit of a different view on this chart. And what I'm going to do with it is I'm just going to basically, to change it, I'm just going to double click here, and I prefer to look at this blue line as a line instead of a histogram. So I double click on it, I change it to a line. This is the way I prefer to view my RMO. Okay, now the second thing that we're going to look at, the first thing that we're going to look at is that long term, and long term we're bullish forever on this thing. The second thing that we're going to look at is this purple-ish color on the chart, not the blue one, but the purple color. And what we're going to say is it above zero or is it below zero? What we're measuring in this particular indicator, and you'll notice it's a lot more receptive to price movement. It's been above zero a lot since September, but it goes down below zero more. In fact, it just went down below zero. But what we're measuring with this is just a short-term trend. Okay, so if we're looking at this and we're saying, okay, well, looking at this particular stock, we're bullish long term. Right now, it's above zero, so we're bullish short term as well. Okay, and if they match, we're still allowed to buy. So right now, we haven't talked about how we're getting into the order. We're not talking about how we're buying. We're not talking about stops. Yes, right now, what we're doing is we're kind of looking at what the trend of the stock is from a long-term and a short-term point of view, and deciding on what we're going to do based on where the stock is going. Okay, so if I started looking at this maybe 3 days ago, I'd say, okay, well, we are long-term bullish and we're short-term bullish, so we're still allowed to buy, and we've been allowed to buy for those 4 days. Not allowed to buy right here because we're bullish long-term and bearish short-term. Allowed to buy here, allowed to buy here. We want them to match. If they don't match, based on this system, based on this method, you would wait until they do match. Okay. What triggers first? Long. Okay. Mindy asks, what was the detail of the chart that tells you to go bullish and what you just pointed to? Okay. So just to recap, Mindy, there's not really necessarily a first, but the first thing that you'll look at is this long term up here. Thank you for the question. Let me know if this isn't clear. Long term, this is bullish. The second thing that you're going to look at is short term, this is bullish as well. Okay, so they could trigger in different orders and they won't necessarily both trigger at the same time, but that's the order in which I generally say to look at things. Long term, up here, and also this ribbon. Short term, the pink indicator here, which also matches, my cursor is moving a little, so the ribbon or this short-term indicator also matches the color of the bar. So you notice when it's up above 0 right here, the bars are blue. When it goes down below 0, the bars are red. So you can either look at the colors of the bar or you can look at the actual indicator itself. Ravi K says, is this system included with MetaStock or is it an additional purchase? This has been included with MetaStock ever since version 10. And Ravi, I think you're a MetaStock user. Let me know if I'm right, or if I just know a Ravi K from our database that's a different Ravi K. But I think you are a MetaStock user. I think I've seen you at some of the webinars that we do before. Let me know if I'm wrong or right, either way. All right, but yes, this is included. To get to it, you just apply the RMO trade model template. Thank you for the questions. On August 31st, what are we looking for? Right here, back here. So right here, if we were looking at this right here, everything triggered at the same time. I'm actually going to go back. We'll start from there, Mindy. Okay, all right, thank you, Ravi. We'll start here when we actually start talking about kind of the trades, because that's exactly where I'm going to start. Because I want to be able to walk you through a whole trade. Kind of, there's things that are involved with it. So right here, the last thing that we're going to look at. So first, again, long term, are we bullish? Short term, are we bullish? In the case of this particular stock, which I have to actually move it a little bit in mode, both of those have matched up for several days. If those match up, the next thing that we're going to look at is what Rahul calls a change of direction or a change of momentum or a change of force. Okay, and to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to look at these two indicators again. Okay, and if you're paying attention, this purple indicator was the short-term strength. If you're kind of trying to make guesses, this blue indicator here is actually the medium-term strength. Now, the important thing about this is we don't care if this is below 0 or above 0 for the blue indicator. What we're looking for is we're looking for what Rahul calls a change of momentum or a change of strength. Okay, so what happens is as the in-mode stock starts to go up, what you're going to have is you're going to have the short term is going to get strong. Okay, at some point it's going to get stronger than the medium term because it's looking at longer data, and there's going to be a crossover of the purple line, swing trade number 2, and the blue line, which is what Rahul calls swing trade number 3. And when that happens to the long side, or when it crosses up as it did right here, that's a bullish change of direction. Okay, and when it happens to the downside, that's a bearish change of direction as it did right here. So here you had that bearish change of momentum. Here you had a bullish change of momentum. If I go back to the chart, that's going to, why is my mouse working? Okay, stop it. Stop it. All right. I'm doing weird stuff over here with my mouse. Okay. When that change of momentum happens, you're going to get a buy signal on the chart. Or when it happens to the short side, you're going to get a sell signal on the chart. So if I'm looking here, I get the sell signal because you're having that shift in momentum. Okay. Am I going to take a short position? Probably not, because long term I'm bullish and I'm not going to trade against that. And short term I'm bullish as well. I'm not going to trade against that. Okay. When all three of them, if all three of them matched, like eventually we went bearish long term here, then I could look to structure a trade. But in the case where I'm not going to trade against the trends. So in this particular case, I'm not going to ever take advantage of this particular trade. Okay. Now, if I'm watching it though, right here on May 19th, so just about a week ago, we were bullish long term. We went from being bearish short term to being bullish long term. And then we had that shift of momentum, or that shift of direction, or that shift of force. And based on kind of the rules I'm about to teach you, we would have actually taken a trade today. Okay. How's that trade going to work out? I don't know. but just because we don't have that data in yet. But I'll show you kind of how we look at it in the past. We're going to walk through some trade examples and I'll show you based on that date that you were asking for earlier, Mindy, which is back here. Okay. Lynette says, what time frame specifically is short and long-term trades? So he doesn't exactly disclose that, but you can kind of tell based on kind of how long it takes for the indicator to start plotting. And I'd say it's about, it takes about almost a full year for the long term. This is on a daily chart. You can apply it to whatever time frame you want, and almost about 3 months for the short term to start calculating. So Ravi says, can you use this system for options? Yes, but yes, but you do basically, this is good for figuring out what direction you want to go with options. You'd want to use your own judgment in terms of what strike prices you're using and kind of how much delta you want and all that kind of stuff. This is good for identifying the direction you anticipate. Generally, the signals will last very, very long time. So you might be wanting to look at an expiration that's 2 or 3 months down the road. I'd recommend you kind of play with it a little bit and kind of really get comfortable with it. I used to use it to trade almost exclusively diamond options or options on the DIA. So you can definitely use it. Okay, Renee says, oh, I don't see the chart. Okay. Yeah, maybe try the reload. I'm getting Ren is saying that the charts are clear. So maybe hit the refresh button. Sometimes, okay, I'll stop giving you troubleshooting advice if you can see it. So, and this camera is kind of just lazy. Anyway, okay. So the question is let's say that we started looking at this right here, okay? Let's go ahead and kind of just zoom in a little bit here. If we were looking at this particular, let's say we started looking right here, just for fun. We're bullish long-term, we're bullish short-term with the blue bar. We have that change of direction, which gave us a sell signal here. Since we're bullish, we're not going to take advantage of that, okay? But right here, we did end up going bullish short-term right here, the next day. And then you'll notice a little bit later, we ended up going for 2 days, 2 whole bars. We ended up going bearish long-term. So this would be an actual entry signal, okay? We could actually take advantage of this. I'm going to tell you how Rahul recommends that you take advantage of it. We're immediately going to take a loss on it. I'll tell you that just looking at it because it started going up again. But that's going to happen. You're going to have trades that don't work out. And let's see. So if I was looking at this here, this is the bar where everything lines up. So in other words, I got the sell signal. I went bearish short-term here, bearish long-term here. This is the day where everything kind of matches up, okay? The day that happens, I'm going to go ahead and draw a line under the lowest value, because this is a short position that we're looking at, of this bar and the bar before it. That's how I'm going to go in and take a look at my where we're going to go short. If it penetrates this value, in other words, if this stock goes below 31.31 on the next bar of trading, we're looking at daily, so the next day of trading, then we're going to go ahead and take a short position, which we did. Okay. We're not going to stay in that position, though, for more than 1 bar, because immediately the very next day, we start a bullish trend. We would lose money on this trade, too. We would have taken it. The very next day, we're going to go bullish long-term. We're going to go bullish short-term, and we're going to have that change, and it all happens on the same day. Okay? So immediately when that happens, if we're short on this thing and everything is telling us that this thing is going to start to go up, the first thing that we're going to do is get rid of that short position at a small loss. The second thing we're going to do is going to go ahead and structure a trade. Okay, and the way that we do that using Rahul's rules, I had a little bit of alliteration in it, is as follows. We're going to look at the high for the bar where everything goes long, and we're going to look at the bar of the high for the day before. Okay, and I'm going to put a value right above the higher of those 2 points. This bar that I'm structuring the trade on, and the bar before. If we penetrate this value, I'm going to go ahead and take a long position. Okay, so right here, if it goes above 36.21, I'm going to go long. I'm going to just jot that down real quick. 36.21. Okay. So I remember it in a second. That's all. My memory is not as good as it used to be when they took that high school picture that they were showing you earlier. Okay. The second thing that I want to do, and Rahul is very specific about this, is I want to place a stop loss. There are two ways that Rahul teaches to place a stop loss. I'm going to tell you both of them, and I'm going to tell you the way I prefer. The first way is the same way that you pick this entry signal. You look at the low of the bar that you're deciding to buy on. Okay, you look at the low of the bar before, and you put your stop loss right below that support area. Okay, so in this case, if I was using that rule, it's this low, this low, this low is lower than this low, I'd put it right here. Okay. The second way, and this is the way that I use for most of my stops, not just this system, is I'll look for a recent pivot low. And in case you're not familiar with what a pivot low is, it's very simple. What I'm looking for is a low, the closest low that's surrounded by two higher lows. So you'll notice right here, it's the same bar. Here I've got a low. This low is higher. This low is higher. This is a pivot low. This is the support area in which I'll use. So in this case, they're both the same level, but usually they're different. Usually using this method allows you to give it a little bit more room. Okay. Now what I know is if it goes up above here, if it goes up above 36.21, which I just wrote down, I'm going to buy it. What I also know is if it goes down below this pivot low, this area that I've identified on the chart, 28.81, I'm going to get rid of that long position. Okay. So what do I know now? What I know is if I go long on this position, I'm going to get in pretty close to 36.21. It might gap up, and I have to make a decision if I still want it based on the risk. I also know based on the risk about what I'm going to get out of it on it. Now, of course, you're trading the stock. In this particular case, you're holding stock for months at a time on a daily chart, and you can use different periodicities if you want it to daily or hourly. But it could gap down, like this could gap down to 0 if whoever runs in mode gets hit by a bus or something. But in normal scenarios, we have a pretty good idea of what our risk is. Okay. Does sometimes you get hit? Do you get hit by a gap that's really hard that you didn't expect? Yeah, absolutely. But in most cases, I know that I'm going to get in pretty close to 36 after it breaks this high. And if I get out, it's going to be at 28. Okay. Right, I see more questions. So we're going to keep going. We're going to go fast. I do want to talk about how you move your stops. I just realized the time is here. So let's go ahead and kind of just play this along a little bit. We bought here, right? Okay. It did come down a little bit, came back up, had a little bit of a stair step down. Here you had a change of direction, but you're bullish long-term and you're bullish short-term. We don't do anything there unless everything goes bearish. Okay. Here you had another shift of momentum. Okay. When that happens, we're going to move our stop. You can buy more here. If you're long and you want to buy another position, you can. But in this case, I'm just going to move my stop in the exact same way that we did before. Okay. I'm going to go faster here though. Okay. So right now my entry is here. My stop is right here. I'm still losing money, but I've locked in some profits. Okay. I have another shift of momentum here. I would move my stop right here. This is your pivot low. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm going so fast. I just realized I'm out of time. So here we have a pivot momentum. I'm just going to move it right here. Okay. There's my pivot low. That's how I'm working it off. Here we would have stopped out. Okay. So we would have gotten in at 36.21. We would have stopped out right here at 40. Made about 4 points on that particular trade, or about 10%, give or take. Okay. But it kept going up. We did have an opportunity, and we would have taken it to buy in again here. We would have followed the rules. We would have moved our stop here. And the big point that I want to do, because I just can't game this out the rest of the way in 2 minutes, is the whole time this thing was kind of barreling up, we weren't getting in at the very exact bottom, and we weren't getting out at the exact top. But if we did game this out, we were moving our stop up along to compensate for it. And our idea here is not to buy the very bottom or sell the very top. One of my favorite mentors is retired, Robert Deal. We used to travel the country with him, and he'd say, bulls will make money, bears will make money, pigs will get slaughtered. The idea here, and this is a fairly relaxed strategy, it's not very sexy at all. The idea is to take good chunks out of a stock that's trending and follow the direction of that trend the whole way. And if we would have gamed this out, I'm sure we would have made more money with it. So that's a little bit of an idea of kind of what the RMO is. And I'm sorry that it's a little bit abbreviated, but we just ran out of time. I've committed worse sins before. Let me see if I can just kind of go over here. And what I want to do is actually go back to that slideshow if I can find it. Okay, here it is. Let me share that real quick. So we talked about the RMO. Again, one of my favorite systems in MetaStock. Very, very easy to follow. One thing I'd kind of close on is like MetaStock has been rated #1 for so long. We do have the full real-time service and the end-of-day service. Our real-time with the product I was talking about with the news service, it's about $250 per month. But if you're an institution, that same service would be at least $700 with MetaStock and with the data and all that kind of stuff. We do get some of the best data that's available on the market, some of the best tools as well. Refinitiv or Reuters has such a good reputation on the industry. So $250 a month for the real-time version of MetaStock. The way that breaks down, it's $150 for the news service and $100 for MetaStock. We also do have a strictly DC version. DC stands for end of day. It's only $69 per month. And it includes MetaStock. It includes the data that you need to run it, everything you need to run it. And it's only $69 per month. If you sign up, what we're going to do for you is we're going to do a 3-month trial. So you can pay for the first month. We're going to give you the second and the third month for free. Basically, if you do the DC version of MetaStock, that brings your cost down to about $26 a month, somewhere in there. So it's a great way to try a software that's been rated #1 for like 27 years in a row. It'll include MetaStock. It'll include data for basically the region of your choice. That's usually North America for us in the US. We'll actually have somebody that gives you a call, spends up to 2 hours on the phone with you, helping you get everything installed, walking you through all of the award-winning tools that we've got. And we'll also give you a home study course that's called Unleash the Power of MetaStock for free. That's normally a $99 value. We'll be happy to send you more information since we're going fast right now. But we'd be happy to send you some more information. Give us a call, 800-882-3040. You can also go through some of the demos that we've got at metastock.com/CTU for Cyber Trading University, or get in touch with one of our sales guys through chat at metastock.com/sales chat. I apologize, guys. I'm usually a little bit better at kind of managing my time. I wish I would have had a little bit more time to kind of walk through that trade on that particular stock, but get in touch with us. One of the things I would say is you should try out MetaStock. I absolutely love it. I wouldn't trade without it. I use it almost every day, and I do use it every day that I'm actually trading. So give us a call, 800-882-3040. There's no commitment with this. If you're not happy with it, you can cancel. But we appreciate you trying it, and you should. There's a reason it's been rated #1 for so long. Anyway, if there's anything I can do for you, if you guys have more questions, feel free to reach out to me directly. That chat button went away, but I don't have time. I'm going to try and find it and maybe answer. I'm going to turn it back over to Festo before I'm never invited back again.
Jeff Gilmore, you're more than welcome always to come back. That's more than fine. But thanks for coming, Jeff. It's been exciting, and it looked great. Always great to have you on, and hopefully everybody takes advantage of his big promotion here. Listen, I mean, we all been using MetaStock forever. It's been ranked #1. What more do you need? I mean, it's its reputation for itself. But thanks a lot, Jeff. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
You're more than welcome. All right, so let me just share my screen so everybody could see okay. So hope everybody could see me all right. Well, let me just take over the screen here. and share my screen. There we go. And can everyone see my screen okay? Just let me know. All right, perfect. All right, so let me just get the PowerPoint. All right, guys, so basically what we're going to do now is I'm just going to do a quick little talk about a recap of what we traded today. We had a great afternoon. The morning started getting a little dicey. We had a couple of nice little moves, but I'm going to talk about the power of direct access, how it works, and why we're trading. Hold on, let me just close this door because as Jeff was working in his basement, I'm working on my attic. That's what you got to know about COVID. So anyway, it's been great. Anyway, so we're going to talk about the most important tape reading tactics you've ever seen and should know. So I want to start off just talking about really quick about this one little stock that we traded, and actually two of them, PIRS, and which I basically still own right now. You could see it right here. I was trading with my students going into the close. The stock had a really big push, and the trend was just great. It started moving around 3 o'clock, and it just did not stop after 292. And basically, I jumped in it late again. We sold it. We bought it. We sold it. I jumped back in it into the after hours. Now, yes, you can trade after hours. Stock had a great run at 374, and I still own it. I kind of chased it right here at 326. And, right around there once it came in right at that close. So I got pretty lucky on that trade. Another big winner was AMC. And AMC also, big run up on this stock right here in AMC. Right around 130, things started breaking out. And what I want to point out with AMC is this, okay? Let me show you something that's pretty cool. So right here is something called level 4, which we're going to talk about just now. And you could see here on level 4 that we had a big iceberg order, a big resistance levels right around 15, and from 10 o'clock this morning had a tough time breaking it. Finally took the guy out at 15, and this thing, it did not stop. It ran all the way up to about 1550. The last 15 minutes the stock ran from 1540 all the way to 1660. Why? That's what we're going to talk about, and that's what I'm going to teach you. So these are some of the things that we traded that had some really nice moves, and you probably want to know, how did these stocks go up? Why did they go up? How could you have found them? That's what I'm going to do in the next 30 to 45 minutes. Now, at the end of this presentation, everyone, before everyone leaves, I'm going to invite every single one of you to come into my live trading room to see what's going to happen in the pre-market in each one of these stocks, and if there's something else out there that's moving also. So you definitely want to stick around for that link to get registered. So let's talk really quick about trading. Before I do that, to make all the compliance issues like everyone else, we have to always tell you about warning. You can lose all your money in trading, so be very careful before you get involved. Future results are not indicative of the future, yada, 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 yada. Cyber Trading University wants to be responsible that if you get involved, we had nothing to do with it. So make sure you know that, listen, don't trade what you can't afford to lose. That's the way I kind of look at it, all right? So we're going to cover about order flow. We're going to talk about market makers. We're going to talk about level 3, level 4. We're going to talk about the ECN book, how to find tape reading. We're also going to talk about why indicators are laggers and are really not necessary for a day trade. Now, like Jeff Gibby talked about, different, regarding about a swing trade, more of an investment, but I'm more of a day trader. I do some swing trades, but, when you have something that moves over the course of the day, that's really what we're looking for. Now, for some of you who don't know a little bit about Cyber Trading University, we've been around for over 25 years. We're probably the oldest school in the industry. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of people in the industry. And what I've learned is that we're not the biggest in the industry. We don't want to be the biggest in the industry. First of all, a lot of people just teach you just to make money on charging you. You know what? We don't teach everybody. We don't make everyone part of our team because this is really a job. Not a lot of people really qualify to do it. So, that's why why we've been around so long. But I love what I do. And what I'm looking for is, we're not here to teach people just, hey, go into a subscription, this and that. We're trying to find traders we could train that I could trade with. That's really what I'm looking for. All right. Now, a couple of questions I want to ask everyone. I want to do a quick poll. So hopefully not everyone's falling asleep here, but I'm going to fix that. So why can I not see my poll? Could I guess Josh or Rich or Greg, could you give me access to it? I don't see if I have access to the polls. I want to basically show the poll feature. All right, but anyway, could everyone just tell me really quick, what kind of trader is everyone here? Are you a stock trader? Are you a futures trader? Are you a Forex trader, options trader? Just want to get to know a little bit about what kind of trader is everyone here. Just give me a chat in the chat box. Day trading, okay. Julia, inspiring. I like that one. Inspiring what? Anything that's going to make you money, I bet, right? Lita, good to see you all. Day traders. Forex Chris, okay. Day trading with CTU. Deborah, good to see you all. Some stocks and options, okay. From Mike. Gabriella does some stocks and indexes. Okay. Now, I specifically like to stock trade. I'll tell you why. I live here in New York, so call me, you know, I favor stock market because it's basically the financial capital of the world. But you know what? When you turn the TV on, that's what they talk about every day. You know, they don't talk about the Forex market. I mean, they're starting to talk about commodities because of inflation that we got going on with everything else, which is probably a big concern for everybody. But as a trader, we want to monetize and capitalize on it. I like to day trade because I like to sleep at night. I don't hold any positions. I mean, even though I'm doing I might consider doing an overnight once in a while, but 95% of my trades are really, I'm in cash at the end of the day. Now, if you want to be a good swing trader, you obviously have to be a good day trader because you got to know what happens over the course of the day. That trickles into a swing trade. And an options trader, listen, it's 10 times harder to trade options. Now, let me give you my advice that I've learned over the years of trading, not thousands, but hundreds of thousands of people. If you've been doing a specific market, like some of you said, you're doing stocks or day trading, or maybe you just have somebody, you're associated with that's mentoring you. If you're not seeing progress within 30 to 60 days, you're probably wasting your time. Okay. And you might want to try a different market. So please don't look at it or trust anyone that says, oh, this is going to take you 6 months to a year. Believe me, they're blowing smoke. All right. Anyone looking to hire an employee and say, you know what, I have a game plan if this person's going to work out after 6 months. Listen, you pretty much can know in a couple of days. All right. So right off the bat, don't be fooled on that. Now, why am I here? Like I'm saying, I'm here to find traders I could train that I could trade with. What I've just shown you just early when we got started, about some of those big stocks that are moving, I need to see if you guys could help me find these stocks. Like I had, a fellow, trader this morning, Nelson. I'm sorry, no, it wasn't. Who was it? Who I had this morning? We had the picks from Washington. Norman helped me trade the OCGN. There you go. Thanks a lot, Kevin. Norman helped me find OCGN. That was a really nice move. If it wasn't Norman helped me find OCGN, let me bring that up really quick and show you what I mean. Here it is, OCGN. I made about almost $600 in it. But Norman found this stock right around 8:15 in the morning, and I didn't jump in until around maybe about 8:30. And let me zoom in here so you guys see a little bit better. And if I didn't find it, I wouldn't have made the money that he called out. And the reason why he found it, it was a nice little movement, nice little trend, and I'd like to thank Norman for that. But once again, $8 stock goes to $9. Listen, there are stocks every day that are moving. We saw AMC, we saw PIRS, they're all out there. So another reason why I like trading, because I want to spend more time with my family. I'm a first-generation Italian. My parents came here with $20 in their pocket. They worked their butts off to give us a better life. And you know what? I didn't do too bad for myself, okay? And actually, the rest of my family didn't do too bad for ourselves. We all became entrepreneurs. I found the trading market. Some found the car business. The other one found ice cream, whatever it is. But one thing I learned is that a good nucleus and having a very a good job that will help you spend more time with your family really will help that relationship. And you know what? I've been married for over almost 25 years now. So I guess it kind of worked out pretty well. Now, why are we all here? Okay, listen. We are here for one reason. It's not about making money. It's about stop losing it. That's why we're all here. At Cyber Trade University, listen, finding winners, and everybody wants to know about these stock picks and this and that. You know what? First of all, nobody could tell you about a stock pick unless they're registered. It's illegal. I don't know if you know that. Secondly, it doesn't make you money. You need to know why you're losing money. That is everybody's issue. Let's be honest, okay? If we were all making money, we wouldn't be here. But great traders never stop learning. You got to know how to play the game. So it's all about working together and trading together. Let's talk about AMC. So round 2 at AMC, the Reddit stocks, right? They've all been moving. They've all done pretty well. This stock obviously took a big hit, had a nice little rally, came down. AMC did really, really well. Today, it ran from, you could see from 1360, and it ran, you know, right here, you can see it. This is a 230 times screenshot. Ran to 1580, but we all know what it really ran to, AMC. Ran to almost 17. Okay, when I took that screenshot, it was right around here. Now look at it, ran to $17 a share. So how do we find these, where they are? How do we know they're going up? It's all about following the money, okay? Like I just showed you earlier, I'm going to go over it again. Supports and resistance levels don't work unless you have the buyers and sellers out there. The first place that I found it, you know, and this is something that we teach, and I'm going to invite everybody here when you come in my trading room, you're going to see how we do it. This is not a big secret. We don't have a crystal ball. We don't have any special platforms. We just work off the big percentage gainers and losers. That's about it. Just basically working and finding, you know, what's moving in the market, and that basically gives us a sense of direction where the stock is going. Now, there's a lot of stocks that are moving on this list, but you got to remember, you only need one to make a day's pay, okay? We just need one to make a day's pay. So, for example, here's our trading room. And you could see here's our students, our instructors, how we're working together, how we're scanning together. You know, it's not about just teaching how to play, but the thing is, we're all making and trading the stock together as a team. But you gotta have the right program and to trade with them, which is basically the right tools. So let's go back to AMC, okay? You look at the chart, you notice, okay, the trend is up. We don't really have that many tools out there. We don't have a lot of bells and whistles as indicators. So what do? How do we know it's gonna continue? We use something called level 3. Now, I got my poll working. Okay, there you go. Thank you very much, staff. All right. So, here we go. Here's my poll question. So, do you have level 3 quotes? So let me put this poll out there. You guys got a poll. Just give me a chat back and let me know if you got level 3. And be honest. If you have it, you don't have it, no one's going to make fun of you. No one's going to pick on you. All right, come on, guys. Not everyone's answering this poll. We got almost 100 people in here. Come on, share it. Tell us what you feel. How you feeling? All right, so you could see half of you don't have it. Now, the reason why a lot of you do have it because your students are CTU. So let me explain to you what we're looking at. We're going to look at one ECN. Now, you're going to notice it's going to be different than the one I showed you earlier. So let me get my little crayon out here so you can follow along. Animation. There we go. Okay, here's my little dot. So here's your buyers, and here are your sellers. You got 3 columns. 1, 2, and 3. The first column is telling you how many orders are out there. Second column is telling you how many shares. And the third column is telling you at the price they want to buy it for. Whoever wants to buy the stock for the most amount of money is up on top. Whoever wants to buy for less money is down at the bottom. So what you're looking at is one big little chat room. That's basically what you're viewing. These are the real orders, the live orders that are around the entire world. Everybody that's trading on the NASDAQ exchange is being advertised right here, right in front of your eyes. Now, how do we use this data? Well, we've all been taught support and resistance levels, right? So here you have a stock PLTR, and you'll notice the stock started at $28, came all the way down and stopped at $24.50. Now, the question is this: why did it stop at $24.50? Why didn't it stop at 26? Why didn't it go down to 24? Why specifically did it pick 24.50? Well, there's only one reason and one reason only. A support level was made by buyers. And if you look over here, when you look, now we're going to go on the buy column, and you'll notice that there are 21 orders out there that make up 58,000 shares at 24.50. I don't think we need to be a genius to kind of realize that that is a lot of buyers, okay? And if I was thinking of buying it, I think I would want to buy somewhere around there or be patient until there. That's the only reason why the stock did not go below there, because of that buyer was out there. Now, for the sell side, same exact thing. Here's a stock that went from 670 all the way up to about 725. And it hit there, it hit there, it hit there, and eventually, you know, I don't know, maybe after 3-4 hours, it finally came down to 690. Why did it have such a tough time getting past 725? Only one thing can explain it. This big seller right here at $7.25 for 56,000 shares. Okay, that's the only reason why. You see, fellow traders, it's all about following the money. This is where it comes down to it. Now, let's put this in perspective. I'm going to keep things very simple. All right. Now, is this stock going up or is it going down? Okay, let's just do a poll right here. Let's see how you guys answer this question, you fellow traders. It's not a difficult question. All right. So I'm going to end the poll. I'm going to share the results. Now, I still don't understand how you people think this is going up. The trend is going down. Okay. I don't know what you're seeing, but if you said it's going up, unless you're, just trying to play the opposite role. But if you are very serious, I can give you advice. I would quit trading right now. Don't take it in a bad way. Don't mind if I'm a little brash, but I'm trying to save you some money. All right. Or you might need some education on it. Now, for the ones that said it's going down, congratulations, you're right. What do we need for the stock to go up? Now, this is my question to everybody. In the chat room, tell me, what do we need for the stock to go up? Very good. We need buyers. Right, Mindy? Right, Bill? Okay. Do you see buyers on a chart? Yes or no? Do you see buyers? No. So what the hell is a chart good for? I don't see buyers. It's like worthless. Okay? So let's go hop and look at NASDAQ total view. And if you notice here, holy crap, there's 219,000 shares looking to be bought at $12.60. There are 73 different orders around the entire world of people out there on the NASDAQ market that want to buy that stock at $12.60. Okay? So let's think about this for a second. Do you think I want to question that guy? You think I'm like, that's a fake order. That doesn't mean anything. Yeah, let me know how that works out for you. Because guess what? The stock hit that price and went right back up to $13.80. It's all about buyers and sellers. You see, people make trading more complicated than what it is, and it's not. It's really not. It's actually keeping it simple, just following the orders. This is what we do here at CyberTrade University. We look for those big block orders. I'm looking to train people like you to help me find it, like Norman did this morning with OCGN with me. That is how you make money. I know I could teach you. It's all about you not being greedy and cocky. That's where it comes down to it. All right, let's eliminate everything. Let's eliminate all the bells and whistles. Let's look at Uber really quick. Could you guys tell me, where would you think, in theory, resistance levels will be in Uber? Where do you think resistance levels would be? All right, just wait. If you don't know the answer, give me a question mark. Remember, resistance levels are made from sellers. Where are the sellers? On the right. Where do you see a lot of sellers? I know that sounds very kindergartenish, but it really is. If you said 51.40, congratulations, you are right. And not even at 51.40, just 10 cents more, you got another 63,000 shares. Very right, Bill. Does that seem hard? Does that seem complicated? Why is nobody getting this? Oh, I know why. Because no one trained you that way. Everyone's teaching you the next Bollinger Band. Everyone's teaching you the next RSI. Everyone's telling you how to read the book value. You know, all this crazy stuff. Something that you might feel I'm not qualified to do. You know what? If you could pass the 3rd grade math test, you could pass to learn how to trade. There's nothing to make it complicated. It comes down like that. All right. Look at this. What happened here? Did you need a chart to tell you that? Because it went right to that price and was having a tough time breaking it. And not only once, but look how long it sat there. From 11 o'clock until 2 o'clock, it still did not want to break 51.40. It's all about having that game plan. So do you see the importance of trading with total view and without total view? Now, at the end of this presentation, we're going to play a video. I don't know if you guys ever watched the closing bell when the NASDAQ closes on the NASDAQ when they hit that, you know, turn it on and turn it off. I was a regular guest before they closed it down because of COVID. And NASDAQ wants you to learn this stuff. NASDAQ spends a lot of time wanted you to go out there and learning how to use their software. They want you to have the seat on the exchange. But if you don't do it right, you're just trading blind. Look at that picture on the right-hand side. The guy with those nice glasses. Look at that. How many charts do you see? You know what? I only see numbers. Numbers. That's it. Who do you think's a better trade? This guy with the glasses or this guy over here on the left with the single monitor? Come on, fellow traders. Now, the guy's got some cool glasses, right, Lynette? All right. So next thing people always say is, hey, Faust, I heard these are fake orders. First of all, if anyone ever tells you they're fake, you obviously are dealing with someone that has absolutely no clue how trading works. And you definitely don't want to spend the time, not even a single dollar with that person, okay? Because technically, he never traded before or worked for somebody to know that. That's number one. Number two, these are all real orders, all right? Because the exchange would never let you put an order out there if they didn't think it was. Or, you know, wouldn't let you put an order out there to trade on their exchange. Now, the way we know we have to look at it is, remember I showed you AMC. Let me go back to AMC because this is basically level 4. Now, you see right here, there was a big seller out here, right? And you'll notice right here in the bottom, you see all these greens. There's a lot more of a green, volume bar than the red, which means there were a lot more orders that went off. So the way we know if people are getting executed is by time and sales. Green means transactions are going off on the offer. Red means trades are going off on the bid. Very simple. Now, let's look at this example, INO. You'll notice how this stock went from $7.60 all the way up to about $9. Had a very tough time breaking it. A very tough time. You'll notice at $9, boom, thing ran all the way to 10. What happened to this 288,000 shares with these 626 orders out there? The guy got executed. Look at the time in sales. Green, 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 green. 16,000, 2,000, 1,200, 3,000. You know, look at all these orders. The guy was selling those shares. Guess what? That could happen. Just like what happened when there was 500,000 shares looking to be sold at $15 and the guy got done. And that's why the stock took off and ran an extra $2 in, I don't know, 2 hours. And you'd have to trade a lot of money to do that. It's all about following the money. And here's another example. Look at all these orders right here. There were hundreds of thousands of shares looking to be sold at $3. Once that guy got done, boom, the thing just basically took off, and it's still going higher. Oh, I'm still making money. How much am I up today, right, as of right now? Oh, I'm up about 1,000. Okay, so I'm still making more money. Since we started around right here, we're doing pretty good. We're not, not bad. All right. Isn't that great? Isn't trading lovely? Love it. All right. So you can't be self-taught when you're out there risking your hard-earned money. You have to learn from traders that do it every day. Now, Cyber Trade University has been endorsed by every brokerage firm in the industry. We're the longest-running school. We're being monitored. We're being credit checked by every brokerage firm. These brokerage firms want you to get educated, because if you're educated, you'll be a client theirs forever, okay? And by the way, if any of you here have ever looking to get trained by anybody, make sure they are being endorsed by brokerage firms, because if they're not, read between the lines. Why would they not want to endorse somebody if he's good at what they do? So always remember that. Now, this is what I'm asking all of you guys to do. I want to invite every one of you to come in my trading room. Now, I know we have a lot of students here, so you're already registered. That's fine. And thank you for sharing your comments here. And if you have anything, please let us know. We'll copy and paste, because we're always looking to recruit new traders. We're always looking to recruit because, eventually you're going to outgrow CTU. And then maybe, just maybe you'll start your own little trading room. There's a lot of schools out there that are our students, and we're very proud of it, but you got to start somewhere. And if you're doing something right now and it's not working with the brokerage firms that you're dealing with right now, or a school that you learned, maybe it's time for a change. You know what? What's the worst thing that could happen to you? Learn something. So this is what I'm looking to do. I'm asking everyone to make pay for an application fee of $9. Now, the $9 it just lets us know if you're a real person or not. If you don't like it after you do a week trial, we'll give you $9 back, okay? We just don't invite anyone in the trading room. We don't know who you are, where you came from, we don't know if you're a stalker or I don't know. But this is what you're going to get for $9. You're going to get our live cyber group trading room for a week, 3 daily market meetings, a morning and afternoon watch list, your own personal education advisor, a weekly live Q&A session, and as a bonus, 100 hours of recordings, premium workshops, and you'll get a free coaching class with me. Now, all this for $9, is that ridiculous? No, we're not, because I have to interview you eventually, because to train you is a lot of work, okay? And it's not free. But you don't know what you're getting yourself involved in until you try it out. So all I'm asking is, if you like what you see and you like what you're seeing right now, like AMC or, oh, look, it's still going higher. Look at that. Beautiful. And you want to see stocks like PIRS and how, you could make money on a $3 stock go to $5, and you've been witnessing it live as we've been here. You want to know why they're going up, how they're running up, how you could do this, and maybe, change your career in trading. Here's your chance. So go out there, fill out that trial. Let us teach you how to do it the right way. Don't judge us on our winners, judge us on the losers. And hopefully all of you will probably have the opportunity to become a trader of Cyber Trading University. Well, thank you very much, Bill. And it's always great to hear you, and I hope you're feeling great. And thanks for being part of CTU. Anybody have any other questions? You want to see the link there? Yep, here it is. $9 1 week. We sent the link up there. Just click on that link. You can register, And these are all the great things you're going to get with that. All right. Any other questions, fellow traders? Any other questions? Now, remember, don't forget to stick around. Once we're done, we're going to play a quick little video from NASDAQ Traders Talk, so you can see a little bit more about NASDAQ Total View, a little bit about it, and we'll go from there. In the meantime, everybody, thanks for coming, and thanks for listening into MetaStock, and thanks for listening, and students, always appreciate you guys being in there. I sent out a bulk email. Tell me how you did today. If you didn't, if you missed out, share with your friends, get them in there. Don't lose that great opportunity to be part of something, then going back to work again. Now we got to take the mask. Everyone wants to go back to work. You know what? I think this is such a better job. Really is. Thank you so much, everyone. Happy trading, and I'll see you all bright and early tomorrow in the Cyber Group room. Have a great day.
Is this the bottom? Is this the bottom? Because we're looking at the market all day, and honestly, this is how you really know when it's the bottom. When you have the worst of the worst of the worst, and just constantly all negative stuff, and the market's not going any lower, that's when you know it's time to buy. So as you see, like a lot of bad news keeps coming up, and then obviously you saw what happened yesterday when they lowered the Fed rate by a half. It took for a big decline, and all of a sudden the market's up with about almost like 900 points so far. So and there's still a lot of bad news that's coming out with the coronavirus and everything else, but that's really when you know when you hit the bottom. So for some of the listeners out there that really missed the boat when the market had a big rally, you almost hit 30,000. These are the opportunities. Honestly, it is like the same thing I saw back in 2008 when we had the financial crisis. So once you start seeing all the bad news, things start backing up, start going up.
All right, let's take a look at our example here today. We're going to look at ticker symbol MRNA, NASDAQ listed, of course. What are we looking at? Where's the levels that you're looking to sell?
Okay, so listen, what is mRNA? I keep bringing up stocks. People are like, what does this company do? It doesn't matter. We're just here to make money. The main goal about Total View is you have to understand how it works, how to know where the buyers and sellers are. It's all about supply and demand. That's why it's such a great tool. So we're looking at a chart right here, and we're looking at the stock right here. And the first thing people notice is like the stock's going up beautifully. Nice. Look at the stock. Started this morning. It's at 25.80. It's at 28. Is it going higher? Now the goal is, Why does the stock keep breaking out? It hits a resistance, it comes back down. It breaks the previous resistance, keeps going up. How do you know it's going to keep breaking higher highs? And that what we're going to do this time is we're going to bring a video so you all could see exactly what it's like to see in the real market conditions.
All right, so let's move along to our next slide here. That's exactly what we're doing. Let's take a look at total view. I'm going to let you take the reins. Tell us what's happening here.
Okay, so we got like a little minute video here. So we're looking at some real time. The key here is time and sales. These are the transactions that are taking place. We're looking at level 2. Level 2 is basically people get for free, but it doesn't give you the depth of data as total view does. Now, the key here is that you don't see that many sellers out there. You're just seeing the best bid and best offer of that exchange. But you'll notice how the stock keeps going higher. What we need to focus on is where you see the big sellers. And you're looking for big orders. You got a 51 different orders out there, right around 28. Things are going so quickly, I try to slow it down. So right around $28, $28.50. So that is really your resistance level. So when you're looking at a stock going out, going higher, you're going to say, is the stock going to break out? So you see it's coming up to this guy right here really quickly. You see it's coming up. It's coming up to this person right here. So it's 70,000 shares, 5,000 shares. So it's going to come up to that seller. Now the goal is this. Is that guy going to get executed? Remember, you have 100 share sellers, 300 shares, 1,000. But you have a big order out there. You want to see if that guy gets executed, and you want to see if that's how it breaks out. Remember, what makes support and resistance levels is buyers and sellers. So you got a seller out there. So we're coming up to that seller right here. Now the goal is to look right here and see if that seller gets executed. And you see it's coming up to the seller, and boom, the guy gets taken out. It's actually executing it. Boom, 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 boom. Look at that. See all those trades actions? It took the guy out. Now look how fast the stock goes up. From 250, we're at 260, 270, 280, boom, like that, as quickly as that. That's why it's so important to know where the orders are, know where the resistance, and see if the guy gets taken out. Now, when we get to the next slide, look at it. We're already at 2880.
Yep, and you can see these 35,000
Which
orders.
is, exactly. Now, this is the next order. Now, the next question is, here's the next biggest resistance. There's a 33,000 shares. There's 100 different orders out there. Now, then that's where the next resistance level is. So the goal is, you hit a resistance, where's the next resistance? The next resistance is the next biggest seller. So now we're coming up to him, and we're going to see what's going to happen when he gets to 29.
Yeah, it happens so fast.
Well, also, this is about a 5-minute video that I was able to capture when we traded this stock, and I kind of speeded it up over about a minute, so it doesn't move as quickly. Boom, we hit 29, the guy got taken out again, and look at the stock just took off again. And the thing I want to explain to you, Jill, is that, and your listeners have to understand, is that when you have a big seller out there and that guy gets taken out, that is a very big demand. Someone says, oh, wow, I'll take that 30,000 shares, and that's why you get the stock that really, really starts to take off. Now, the next thing is that you're going to get some resistance levels. It's going to start backing off. There's always profit-taking going on, right? Of course. So when you have profit-taking going on, you can see profit-taking going on, but the question is it really a profit-taking, or is it just people just, or is it really going to go lower? In this case, it's not. Seller got done. Remember, we just watched the stock go from 28 to 29. Now look at it. We're at 29.50 already. Stock just keeps going higher and higher because those sellers are getting executed. As those sellers get executed, that means there's a demand for it. When you see big block orders out there, it makes a bigger demand, and that makes it higher. Now, the next resistance level, obviously, is going to be where we have to focus on where the next biggest orders are. So we got some, I think we freeze, right? We're done?
Nope,
Almost.
we have a little bit more to go here.
We slow down over here. Yep, we're done. So the next video we're going to show.
You can actually go to our slide here, so this is where you're looking at those levels.
Right, so we're looking at the seller. So we have a 67,000 share seller at 28. So now we have to look what we call iceberg orders.
What does that mean?
Okay. So it's a funny story. So I came up with this word about 20 years ago after watching the movie The Titanic. Okay, if you watch that movie, very sad movie. I definitely recommend it. So anyway, what happened to Titanic? It hit an iceberg, and the thing is, everybody was focused on the pretty of the ship and above the water. They didn't realize it's not what's above the water; it's at the bottom of the water. Icebergs are really big, so what happened? It crashed and it sunk. So what we're looking for is big iceberg orders, which we call, some people call them big block orders, but when you see a big order, it's called an iceberg order. So now we're looking at a 28.90, and we're looking for a resistance. Once again, stock's going higher. We need to focus on the next resistance level.
All right, and which is on the next chart here. If we take a look, yep.
So here's just a quick little screenshot. So as we're looking at it, you see, it's a lot easier when you're focusing on, when you're just looking at the level, the total view, and it's easy to point it out. Now, please keep in mind, your listeners have to understand, we're fast forwarding this pretty quickly to get to the point. It doesn't move this quickly. But I'm showing right here is just a quick screenshot. What we're focusing on is this big order right here for 73,000 shares, and there's 315 different orders out there making up that 73,000. Now, the thing I just want to point out is I just want to teach everyone a quick little lesson.
Yeah.
Don't ever sell anything at $30. Go out at $29.99. You just cut the line by.
So that's for anything that's like an even number.
Biggest trick I was taught by my mentors when I was younger. Listen, everybody's going to think 30. Everybody's going to think 20. Go out $21.99. You just cut the line by 73,000 shares. That's a very good.
It's like selling a house or buying a house. It's like those incremental psychological levels.
Well, if you remember, if you look at it, the stock has a penny intervals. And so that's a little tip. But the thing is, let's focus what happens to the 30. You know, just right off the bat, you know that's a major resistance levels, and that's what we have to focus on. That's for the stock to go any higher, it's got to get through that 73,000 share seller on total view.
All right, well, let's take a look at that next side. See what happens next. Now we're going to get the other piece of the trade.
Okay, so here we're looking at the stock moving. Here's 29.45, 29.48, 62, 67. So the sellers are getting executed. You can see the transactions taking place, but we know that there's that guy sitting right here. And now his order's coming up. Look, he's starting making up the ranking. It's getting up to 30. It's getting close to him. So let's watch what happens. 74, 70. Look at the transactions taking place. It's trying to get there. And by the way, those orders, they're all real. People think like they're fake. Those are real orders. Can a guy cancel it? Of course they can cancel it. But that you have to take very seriously, and that's a real order out there. So now as we're looking at it, and as it's trading, it's trying to get there. Actually, it kind of almost tested it. You see that right there?
Yeah.
See that candle right there? It's hit it, and now it's starting to back off a little. Now you're starting to see the red candlesticks. So now it means that the last sale is lower than the previous.
And this works for all kinds of stocks. ETFs, would it work for ETFs also?
ETFs, futures, options, it works the same way. Remember, it's the movement of stock that makes all those other things. Yes,
right.
ETFs and everything else. You could look up any ETF, and it'll come up on total view. Look, now we're down to 29.
Yep.
So my point that I'm getting to is this. If you didn't have a game plan, Jill, and didn't know that seller was out there, and you try to
And actually, if we go to the next slide, this is exactly what we were talking about. There's your level right there.
If you didn't have a game plan and knew that seller was out there, and look at that candle, that stock literally moved. Look how fast it moved in that one bar chart. If you didn't have a game plan to get out there before that guy was out there, and if you didn't what we call shaving, if you didn't shave just before that 30 and cut that line, guess what? You would just look how much money you would have lost. That stock didn't even drop from 30. Look where it went to. 27.30. You would have got crushed on that trade. Because what happens, if that seller's out there and he's not getting executed, he really had to sell that order, Jill. How is he going to get out? He's got to sell to the buyers. If he hits the bid, he's running that stock down, not you and I. Remember, we're not trading 74,000. Someone else is, and it's not one person. We saw it. It was like there was several people out there doing it. And that's how you got to focus on using the total view when you trade in today's volatile markets.
All right. So cool to actually watch it happen in real time. Thanks so much for doing that for us, Fausto. And thank you for joining me on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at NASDAQ.